Okay, good day, everyone. Before we start, we have a disclosure. You have to be aware of the risk in the market. A beautiful run those last couple hours on ES, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, and we still have some trades are not even close with this beautiful run. We just got a new signal on the ES, so we'll go directly to an ES. We have a new signal and the market pulled back because we have a double support line at 27.86. Right now, based on those last trade on the swing trading, it is amazing when the market is moving. We we get really reward on that. This is your DAX from. I mean, this is the reason I like the DAX because when the market is moving, what you can make in one day on the DAX, it takes you 1 week to make on an ES. It is an expensive game with the DAX, without a doubt. But I mean, if you have a stability on the auto trade and you can look at this market, you see this market moving, you can start uh, on a demo on a sim first to see the market if you don't know how to look at the market, and then we will see. So this is on a swing trading. Right now, we took that trade around 8:35, and this is non-stop that trade. So we can see there is a few decks. If we look at the first three here on the controller, they're all on the $7,000, and then we have one on $2,000, and then directly is on the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, it is amazing. On the Nasdaq, let me show you. This is the same, but we, you know, this is the Nasdaq. Right now, we're still on that trade, and it took that trade around 6:35 Eastern time. So this account is only dealing with ES, Nasdaq, and YM. This is the only three that account is dealing with. And if we look at the YM, a beautiful run, three trades, beautiful run. ES, we have one, two, three, a beautiful run, made $800. The Nasdaq at 2,000 on that trade, 2,100, and then the YM. Let's look at the YM. The YM nailed 800, $750. So this is really, really good. I'm gonna keep my eye on the Nasdaq because we just got a new signal on the ES, and this is the entry price. The reason this market rejected from that signal is because of the double support line on your fibs, and that's why we are getting this projection from the 86.25. So in a way, look at this. It's amazing. So for the last few days, because now we are diving into the summer, a lot of a flat market. It is an extreme flat market. So it is very good when we have a good day. Those auto trades, they never miss a trade as long as this market moving. When the market is not moving, there is nothing we can do from our side, whether you are a manual or automated. But the best offer when the market is, you're going to bump into those days where the market is just flat. And this is the worst enemy for any type of an auto trading than when the market is flat. So this way here, like as an example on the Nasdaq, where you can scalp the market. This is the best time to scalp the market when especially right now in this summer, or around the Christmas, or around holidays. Once the kids are out of the school, this any kind of market start diving into the flat market, and there is no movement. So for the last couple days, if you noticed, the market was extremely flat, and when the market is flat, there is nothing. If there is no ticks moving ticks, then how you want to to get money out of that market. So when the market is not moving, there is nothing we can do to move the market for you. And this is a part of the trading that trader has to accept, that if the market is a flat, the market is a flat. There is no one, we're not able to move the market for you. However, when the market is moving, this is where the payoff start. And it doesn't matter, this is very important. It doesn't matter if you are using the 1 minute or 150 ticks or the 3 minutes. Let me show you an example. No matter what you do, it will be the same. So if we take a two different time frame, if we notice on those two time frame, if we look at the DAX 3 minutes, is on the last trade is 8,700. If we take this one here, this one took one trade, this one here took three trade today. One small trade, one break even, and this is the third trade. This one here was taken at around 8:30. This is 244 ticks, and let me take this chart out. And this one here is a 3 minutes. So this is really important. It's not what time frame you should use. It is. Of course, there is one time frame is more aggressive than the other. Let's say if we take a ticks chart and a minutes chart, there is a two different. I prefer the minutes on the DAX, but of course you can use the ticks on the DAX if you want to, and you can go. Every trader have their own magic fib number on the ticks: 244, 288, 610, or 620. But once this market is moving, your time frame is not gonna be having an impact practically on your results. Example, you can have the 1 minute making today $500, and the second day the 1 minute make $800, and then the 244 ticks make 300. It's not if today the 5 minutes made 8,900 on one trade, it could be tomorrow the 1 minute. It doesn't matter. But if this market is moving, we are nailing it. So immediately today we hit a lot of practically we hit every chart right off. And the key to the trade today is the Nasdaq. Actually, the Nasdaq is doing extreme good performance. Look, this is another example, because it's like some traders, they get lost which time frame. Actually, if this market moving, what I'm trying to say, okay, we have a new signal on the ES. Let me look at this ES first. We have a new signal on the ES, buy at 27.93, target 79.99. So you can follow those trades if you want to, but you are on your own. We're not responsible for your trade. And this is where you have a buy-in entry at that level, and here is your target is 99.50. On the swing trading, I forgot to activate my crosser here. On the right now, we based on the last signal with the price action, not the swing trading. We have right now, based on the last signal, 1,000 ticks in the profit. We have the DAX 436 ticks based on the last entry from your market analyzer, where you see I have it, and this is where is your target. We will look at the DAX, your DAX, and we are way above the target. You have your 6E entry as 8,700, and 1730 is your target. The CL has been a little bit flat today. The CL 66.94, 66.63 is your target, and then the gold And let's go back to the ES. Right now, we have a new target at the ES. It's 93 level, target 99.25. It's very, very simple. And then if we are looking at the chart, you will see there is nothing holding. Already. No, this is the DAX. I'm sorry. Okay, we are already. There is nothing holding the ES all the way to the 99.25. So this is another example here. If we measure the 150 ticks, if we are measuring the 244 ticks, and if we are measuring the 3 minutes, those are three different different time frame with the same automated trade, automated swing trading. But because this market is moving, that auto trade is not going to miss a trade. This is absolutely, it's not gonna miss anything. If this market is going to spike, we're gonna nail it. When the market is not moving, it is flat. There is no way for me or anybody else can generate for you ticks because you have an auto trade. And this is very important for every trader. The reason I'm saying that, now we are diving into the summer, and especially for beginners, they don't understand why there is no performance sometimes. And the reason is the market is flat. And when the market is flat, there is no way you're going to be able to make ticks. And this is reality. It's not something you need to think about it. But this is welcome to trading, and this is a part of your trading. And it has to accept the fact that if the market moving, you're nailing it. If the market not moving, you're not going to get anything out of it, whether you are a manual or automated. For the last couple of 3 days, just trying to figure out, trying to find some kind of manual trading or some kind of entry, and it was hard as hell to find a very nice, good swing trading. That's why for the last 2 days, I was relying more on the scalper than I was on the swing trading. So this is in 2018. You cannot have just one type of an auto trade, one size of shoes fit all. That's why we are providing. We have around 13, 14 auto trades in the Ninja Trader 7. They are beautiful auto trades. And we have around 5, 6 auto trades on Ninja Trader 8. The 3 main things is this one here is called the price action entry signal. This is one system. And then we have the swing trading, which the swing trading, you don't need to optimize or deal with a trailing stop or stop loss. The auto trade is fixed on, as long as this market trending, we are staying on that trade. As long as this market is trending, the auto trade is not and will not close that trade. That's for sure. And then we have the scalper. Also, the scalper does not require any optimization, turn on, turn off. You can use on the scalpers 150 ticks, 1 minute, a limited order, or you can go market order with 3 minutes, and it should be doing extremely good if you want to go on a market order. What is the difference? I mean, I was surprised. The advantage on a limited order, you can actually cut the slippage if the market is moving pretty fast. So anyway, if this market not moving fast, it is very good on any kind of auto trade to use a limited order. But if this market moving fast, then probably you will be missing out on some of the trades, and then we can take the market order. So one of the advantage is it, if this market moving fast, and we know we're not gonna be diving into too many trades in and out, because this is where I really, if this market is moving, I don't like this in and out idea, not unless if this market totally dead, then I don't mind the scalper. But if this market is trending and moving, I don't mind to give away one tick slippage and go market order, because I don't want to miss any trade, especially when the market spikes like this. This is, you have to wait on it. And when on a day like this, you should not be holding back. You should go on a full throttle. What I'm saying is, like right now, you're going to see, let's say, because we are diving into the summer, you will see Mondays are flat. So should I swing trade on Mondays? Won't be very smart to swing trade on Mondays. It will be very good idea to scalp the market on a day like Monday. Uh, then, of course, you're not going to be able to hit a lot of a lot of ticks. It's just enough to be civilized with our target. Whether if you are on a one lot, to be 300, but it should not be thinking because you are scalping. You have a $1,000 account now. You want to earn 10,000. It's not going to happen. So you got to be a little bit more civilized with your daily target. And you have to think about it twice how much you are investing in this market. So if we are investing one ES, and if this one ES gave you $300 on one lot with a couple of trades, you should be very happy with it, and maybe you need to call it off for today. But the problem is you cannot just keep running nonstop and expecting every trade will win. The reason is I'm saying that, let's take an example here on the Nasdaq, Dow Jones, and ES. We have a very nice spike in the market, and the market moved. But from the technical side, right now, if we notice, now the market is turning around, and now you see those numbers now start getting red. And the reason it start getting red is now they hit their targets. We had over 1,000 ticks in the profit based on the last signal, and now the market taking a dive. Of course, now it's gonna get, everything is in red until we generate the new signal, because the target has hit, and now the market is turning around, and now we are diving in to a new signal. The way it is on the price action is gonna stay on the long attitude until we hit those areas here, like what we have covered on the last videos. That once this one here, the trailing stop, your trailing stop, the first trailing stop, it is really a minor support level. Then you have a buy re-entry signal at the safe entry at 88.25, and we have the major support line. Those are based on a trail. You can see how they move back and forth. And this one here, it is the last stop for the long. So we need to separate what is different between the market is over to the trend, or the market is pulling back and re-injecting again to the long side. So pullback re-entry, it is very important to separate the pullback re-entry and the reversal. As long as this ES right now is way far from the critical area, so we are still thinking in the long, and this is where you need to pull back re-entry, and this is what is the scalpers and the swing trading is based on identifying trend, pullback, re-entry. It's been with me for over 25 years. This is the only method I know in the future market. It is identify trend, pullback, re-entry. I've seen a lot of things coming in and go very fast, but this strategy, identify trend, do not take the first breakout, wait on the pullback, get yourself a very nice support line or fib lines or whatever you have under your sleeves, that's okay. And then re-enter on those re-entry points. This is one strategy. And then we have the other ones is my favorite is the reversals, but I don't want to dive into reversals because it require a little bit more than just pullback re-entry. It is much more complex. It is much 10 times uh, actually there is more money in the reversal than trading with the trend. But I don't want to dive into this teaching again. I just wanted to keep it as simplifying everything and not make a complex out of any type of trading. So right now, if we are looking at the Nasdaq, um, let's look at the chart, the chart from the technical side on the Nasdaq. You know, I mean, was our target, 84.75. We went above our target. To simplify the futures, if you notice, you have two yellow lines. Those two yellow lines telling you are in a very critical area, and you're about this market is way overdue. This area here now, you need to be careful if you wanted your auto trade, or if you wanted to take a manual trade. You can wait on the pullback, the 93.25, and put the stop loss right below those lines. But this is a very critical area where we are expecting, this is between those two yellow lines are the dead zone. We are expecting that market to reverse. However, if somebody have a good size account, stand going 3-4 trades or 3-4 lots in one place on the Nasdaq, I will try to find a line or a re-entry or start shorting out that Nasdaq and wait on it, because I don't want to teach how. I'm trying not to get involved with the reversing the market, because you have to use a different chart. So I don't want to confuse anyone with it. But if you have anything or under your charts that can indicate where is your resistance, and then this is about time to reverse the Nasdaq. So what I'm saying is a $5 per take, so you can hold on to this number on a short trade for quite time before you give it up. Because let me try to how we can identify the trend, or how we can I'm trying to find an easy way how we can identify a market is about to get in flat and reversing. This is beautiful today. As an example, on the DAX, this is something, sometimes the market can play with us. I'm not arguing with that. Which, if we look at this DAX as an example, we can use NASDAQ YM. If we look at this line here, the farther the bar is from that line, the stronger the trend is. So today, if we are taking a manual trade, actually the auto trade sometimes can out-trade anyone, because for me, if I'm looking at it manually, the farther the bar is away from that line, the stronger the trend. When I see the bar come in and start touching those area here, I would have exited that trade, whether it's manual or automated. I would have exited because it's over. But then the market played on us as always, and then the market start getting momentum right there, and then we are farther from the line, the stronger the trend is. And this is the same thing you notice on the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones, and now you can see is about to come in and collide with that moving average. So once this market collide with that, and this is a 1 minute, and that's why those guys they I never can understand can trade manually with a Renko bar, because from the technical side I don't see that on a Renko bar. I love Renko bar for reversing the market, but I cannot see anything in the Renko bar. Uh, uh, Even if you have a couple fibs here and there or an entry signal, I don't see no sense in it from the technical side. So a Renko bar is a mess, and it is misleading in the market. So that's why 1 minute with 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and a 15 minutes, you need to fill up the screen with those four charts to understand how is this market momentum. Even if you say this is rubbish, I'm only going to be auto trading, very fine, fair enough. But when you start in the morning, you have to look to see if those bars are touching your moving average, or those bars are below or above, or they are very far, before you start your engines and start auto trading. You do not just start auto trading and with your eyes closed, not looking at the chart. As long as you don't look at the chart before you start auto trading, you were always sitting at the mercy of the market. You're not in control with that auto trade. You do not say, I will start my auto trade at 8:30. You do not say, I start my auto trade at 9 o'clock. It doesn't work this way. You can optimize it from now till banana moon, but it's not going to happen. Today, the market has spiked at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, this market is going to spike at 9 o'clock, or it could be spiking at 6 o'clock. I have no clue. Nobody has an idea when this market is going to. There is a news, momentum, buyers, sellers. There is all kind of condition coming in every single day, and every day is different. So for those guys that wanted to auto trade, they don't want to take the motion, whether it's ours or somebody else is irrelevant. You need to look and kick the tires, go around, kick the tires before you can even think about deciding for today if you want to auto trade or not. Because if you don't do that, then you are still waiting on that mercy of that auto trade is giving you whatever is giving you. So right now, what we are looking at the ES start is about to just glide with your moving average, and that it is going to cause a little setback, and it's going to cause a little trouble for half an hour before we see direction again. So let's look at the Nasdaq. This is probably the same story. Actually, the Nasdaq, if we notice between the moving average and the bars, they are way apart from each other, and that indicate we still have on a long trend. Here is the problem. We are at the dead zone. Should I invest any more money in the Nasdaq? No. To the long side, no. That it is a very high risk trade. If you want to trade, this is a very high risk trade, because we are at this dead zone. It is a strong trend, but I don't want to mess with it because it doesn't work for me anymore. I'm passing on that Nasdaq, and I'm not touching it because it can change momentum right now any minute on us. A strong trend, way far from the moving average, but this yellow line here, once the market entered those yellow lines, is pushing brakes for me. Now, however, if you are auto trading, you don't have to deal with this all whatnots, but at least it is a very good idea to know that we are still on one trade. on a 3200 on the Nasdaq, on the based on one trade on the uh, uh, the the DAX, whether you are on 3 minutes, the 150 ticks, those are the basic for every single trader. And this is your Nasdaq on a 244 ticks, and it is on one trade. So that's why I like the DAX, because the DAX normally you have couple of 3 days a week good movement, and then you have normally two lousy movement on the DAX, especially around Monday. I don't want to auto trade the DAX on Monday. Absolutely, I will take it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe I will keep close on a Friday. Early start on a Friday is very healthy. Yes, I can scalp the DAX, and you can be in and out of the market within seconds based on a scalping on the DAX. As an example, if you are an early bird or on the middle of the night, or you wanted to like, let's say on Monday, I will absolutely go for the scalpers on Monday and nail it immediately with based on one trade. If we take the 150 ticks, or we take the 1 minute, it's the same story. It takes one trade, and then you are done with that, or a couple of trades, and then you are done with the scalping. This is how I would approach Monday on the DAX. Would I start swing trading on Monday on the DAX? You have to look at the charts before you start swing trading on the DAX on Monday. Make sure that this market is moving. If this market is moving, it is a very good potential. During the DAX time, the Europeans, Deutschland, Börsen, that you can. It is a very good movement on the Nasdaq. Extremely good movement on the CL, and sometimes there is a good movement on the YM. So don't underestimate the European time. And you say, okay, well, on the European time, for whoever, we have traders in Europe, and we have some traders in Malaysia or Australia, probably that will fit better for them. You have a very good movement, very smooth movement on the Nasdaq Globex during the European time. And the CL, it is amazing. Actually, there is a better performance on the CL with an automated trading during the DAX time than when the US session start. We can take any example on the CL, and you can see this market goes up and down. And let me see if I can find one CL. On this one here, the CL, we only have one trade because we just started this one here on the swing trading. But if we look earlier time, do not underestimate the CL at all. Let me see if I can find one more. I've been having a problem with my computer with the graphic card, using a lot of monitors, get overheated, and the last 2 days has been a nightmare trying to put it back. So let me see. So today I'm not using all the monitors. This is the 1 minute. Let me see on the 1 minute. Okay, there we go. Here is your 1 minute today. Earlier, I start always the DAX with the CL and the DAX always in the morning. And it's not unusual to see on the early morning when you are using the DAX a very nice spike on the CL. And this is a beautiful, beautiful run on the CL. But we have to stick very high on this one here. The daily target is very high on that chart. So we did not get off that CL. But especially if you have a very high number on a daily target on that chart. So we have a very high number on this one here. So you can see the swing trading on the CL early in the morning. And if we look at this movement, it's 10 times much better actually than the US session. So do not underestimate for, especially if you are in Europe or you get up early, to keep your eye on the CL, NASDAQ, and Dow Jones because they work very good. And what is one of the things also, what I like about the DAX, it is really crazy, but actually, it is very crazy. I mean, the ES is in one country and the DAX is in the other country, but you'll be amazed when you're trying to pick up the signal from the ES, and sometimes you have an earlier signal than the DAX, and then the DAX follow. So the advantage of it, and not just because the DAX can generate good ticks, the things is that you can have an early prediction on the DAX by looking at the ES. I've been covering a lot about the DAX because uh, for a guy don't wanted to sit down and deal with an ES on a daily basis, and he have the right account, he can call it off. So we have one chart is already closed, and this is beautiful. So I would take that one. I will take a chances in one day on the DAX and call it off for the rest of the week, than to keep going around in the circle with the ES, because those numbers you will never see on an ES hitting it on one trade. That's absolutely, this is not going to happen on the ES. But on a good day like now, today, yes, you will have probably a few trades here and there, make a couple of $3,000. We're not going to argue about that. But most of the days when the market is dying, uh, you got to sit down and wait on every tick, and sometimes it can be aggravation. Right now, we still around the one. Okay, we have the second chart hit the target, and that one here hit 88.78. And let's look what we have left. We have this one here, the 3 minute, still has not a close position and is about to close position on this one here. The rest, the Nasdaq, all of them, they have closed already. We will cover now a little bit on the Nasdaqs, and the Nasdaq's already hit. All of them hit. Done and over with. Here is a Nasdaq 560. Here is a Nasdaq 965. Range ES 525. YM 870. Different numbers, but they all did. Okay, CL. CL just closed on the 3 minutes, not a long time ago. This is nice. That's what I like. This is really nice. I wish we can do that every day, but one trade, 740, done, over with. NASDAQ, 1100. YM, 1100. They're all finished. The rest are DAX, and I'm sure you are bored with the DAX. So also on the same story on the swing trading or on the scalping. The same story on the market order. B scalper. I'm using a market order on the B scalper 550, and Nasdaq, Dow Jones. They all, I have showed you those. So practically the market is good all the way around. There is nothing you can go wrong when the market is moving. So let's go back to the ones that are following our signal and trying to see if we can find some entries for the traders. Let me take those out of the way. Okay, let's go back to the Nasdaq, because this is exactly what I have said a few minutes ago. We had the bar very far from that line that indicate a very strong trend, and then I said I'm not gonna get excited with it because of this yellow lines. I don't like it. So this is where the critical area. Once you see those yellow lines, even if you have an automated trade, that means you need to close your position. You're about to be knocked out of that trade. So if we notice right now, this is a very good, does not need a genius or a brilliant trader or somebody has been sitting for many years behind the screen. Now we touched, very simple. Now we broke this line. To simplify it in a way, how things the market work, because sometimes there is a lot of noises, and you can get sometimes lost, or your eye can misguide you in a way. You have to look at this chart not with the bars that much as this way. Here is your trend, and the market got in a flat and penetrated. That right there, this is a signal. So let's don't get excited about the bars movement as much as just one line. So when you see the trend or any kind of moving average you are using on your charts, and I hope to God you are using minutes. So this is an indication of a dead end for your trend. So those bars going up and down, this is nothing but noises. But at the end of the day, this is the area where the market stopped right there. The bar, one up, one bar up, one bar down, this is noises. This is nothing we need to get excited over. So if we notice now, I'm trying to simplify it as much as I can, and I don't want to dive into a lot of technicals here. So if you look at the chart in that way, this way you can see if you are auto trading and you are taking a nice swing trade and making 8,000, 4,000, 3,000, this is your good day. So we need to protect what we have, because it could be tomorrow a dying market. So this is right now is indicating that we are about to have a new signal, because the last stop on that NASDAQ is right there. What's going on in the market? We already got those signals. And I have talked about before about the market has to be synchronized. And I've been saying that on every video when we go live. So if we looking at the NASDAQ have a sell order. The YM have a sell order. And now we are waiting on the NASDAQ to give us the ignition or the spike for the ES and the YM start trending. So now we are on hold to see the NASDAQ. It's been a very strong day today. All the charts on the NASDAQ has hit the target immediately. And now we need to see that NASDAQ synchronizing with the ES and the YM. Normally, used to be in the old days, 15 years ago, the NASDAQ and Dow Jones and ES, they go in one direction. NASDAQ become individual, but nevertheless, still when the ES come into some major area here, the NASDAQ stops. So you cannot say I'm a NASDAQ trader, because if the NASDAQ want to go down or want to drop, excuse me, and the ES is sitting on a major area, major line, the NASDAQ is going to stop until we have a breakdown, because I mean, still the ES is a 500 company. So right now, all the eyes and all this market is sitting and standby on your NASDAQ. So this is where, if you are in manual trading and sometimes trades are not going in your direction because you're not covering all the corners. I'm not saying you're not going by the rules. The market don't care about your rules, don't care about my rules, don't care about nobody's rules, don't care about any platform rules, don't care about your broker neither. But sometimes you take that trade with an indicator. Today you make $200 on that trade. The second day you come in with the same condition and you lose 200. And this is the aggravation on a retailer trader don't comprehend. Why? Because you're not looking at the market in all different corners. You are just concentrating on your ranker bar, one chart, and this is not going to happen. Even if you are an automated trading, you have a very good run on the DAX. I want to see why, how it is, what is going to happen with this DAX. There we go. Here is my theory again. The market, very simple. I don't want to go with the bars. We're just going to simplify what we're looking at in our eye without making the noises. We don't need the noises in our eye, blocking our eye. So how we need to look at this chart, very, very straight, avoiding these noises, taking that line right there, and here is your market. Now got in the flat and is touching. Bang. It's finished. Right there. Once in a while, the market might gonna be ignite couple bars and 3 bars, but nevertheless, this one could be by play. But this one here, it is finished. So whether you are trading NASDAQ or automated trading NASDAQ, and you will have days when the market is moving, you have $2,800 on the trade. Should I stop or override that auto trade, or should I stay on that trade? And this is a very, very important question, because also sometimes if you don't lock your profit, you're going to give up probably 25 back to the market. So it is just a decision sometimes to look at the chart to say, should I stay or should I run? I mean, this is, you have to look at the chart sometimes. So let's go back on the NASDAQ to see what will happen on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ did not give in, because it has to go below those numbers before we start going short. 86.25 has to go below the 86.25 before we start thinking about short. And the NASDAQ refusing to die to the downside. And this is a big mess, because we are already crossed and touched the line. We are at the dead zone. Now, if I'm not on that trade on the NASDAQ, if we close that trade right now on the NASDAQ and let the auto trade take in a trade, absolutely it will be losing trade. Absolutely. Why? Even if you have an auto trade right now running, doesn't matter is ours or somebody else. And if your auto trade running on a trading with the trend, it doesn't matter, breakout, ATRs, momentum, MACDs, whatever you have. And now you're going to start losing trades. Absolutely, without a doubt, on your trade right now at this moment, at 10:47. You will be 10:47 a.m. Eastern time. Now we are diving into trouble, and that it is. Before you know it, your auto trade is making 2,800, and now you start seeing the auto trade start losing money one after the other. And the reason is of this problem right now. We have a problem, and we cannot, and that is freezing us to take any trades on the ES, and is freezing us to take any trade on a Dow Jones. Now, if we look at the ES, we already got the sell signal. And what is doing in the ES? It's like, it's like an airplane going around the airport, getting the okay to land. It's the same thing. Here is your sell. We got the signal. And what is this market going? Just waiting, giving us the okay to land. It's going back and forth. It's going back and forth between your resistance line at 89.25 and you're breaking out at 88. Why? We are on hold. We are on hold to see what is this NASDAQ is about to do. And the same story without even looking at the chart. Here is your entry signal. And the market is going back to the resistance. And this is a heavy resistance on the YM is 25. 270. We have a double resistance on the YM and sitting in the circle waiting. This is where most of the traders get lost in, whether you are automated or you are a manual. This is the worst nightmare for any retailers. So if you say, Sam, what should I do with this? Very, very obvious. If we look at the YM, if I want to take that trade, it has to be very close to those resistance line, and it has to be the sell limited order somewhere around there, right there. And the reason is because I need to put my stop loss. I need to put my stop loss right above those two lines right there. So I cannot afford too many ticks. Let's look at the NASDAQ. I hope we can get some short signal on the NASDAQ. The sellers are coming. Where is the NASDAQ trade? Look when it's going to close this NASDAQ trade. Let's go back on the ES to see what is going on. Got projected at 86, going back and forth. If we're not getting a short trade on the NASDAQ, that is going to drive you the ES and the YM, and it's going to misguide you on any kind of trading. You're going to be misguided on the ES, because I don't believe this ES is going anywhere from that signal entry. We have a signal entry, and I will not touch this one here until I see this NASDAQ confirming the downtrend. They all come in one piece. You cannot just dismiss one piece out of the other. So here, if we want to measure on your trade, if we are taking a trade here on the NASDAQ, how we can identify that trade, look at it, is very simple. You draw the line right there, and you draw this line. You can see what is. You don't need even an indicator to see right now the Nasdaq is losing momentum. You don't need even an indicator. You just look at the bar movement, and you can see where's the highs, lows, and very straightforward with that. So let's look what the Nasdaq is doing. I will be taking a break, 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Thank you. For the message, amigo, um, he's using It is true on the NT8, especially this one here. Okay, we have a sell entry here. I'm sorry. I have one of my clients here, my members, is using the signal on the price action on the 233 amigo. His name amigo. I call him amigo anyway. And okay, now we have a sell order on the Nasdaq. We finally give in, and you can see, guys, we knew exactly when this auto trade is gonna close position. We knew exactly when this auto trade closed in position. We were 2,800 on the Nasdaq. Lack of information. We give up $200 on that trade because of lack of information. So now we have a new signal on the Nasdaq. We are having on the market analyzer or on the chart tells you where is the entry is 83.75. Your target is 59.50 and is right there. If you want to follow those trades, you are on your own. We're not collecting any information. We're not making money out of it. We're just helping the traders using those trades. That is given the okay for the YM and the ES to immediately drop. So despite those indicators you have, whatever indicators you have, or whatever you got them from, that's explain to you why sometimes you enter the market and you make money, and sometimes you enter the market on the same condition an hour later and you're not making money. The reason is very simple, is you're not covering all the corners. And there is no rules, but you have to cover and you have to be patient to understand when is okay to trade, when is not okay to trade. To us as a retailers, as somebody said, without offending anyone, is just we are small people on a back of an elephant trying to go with the wind. We're not trying to insult anyone, but we're trying to go with the wind. We're trying to go with the direction. By you having an indicator or an auto trade, you're not changing anything in this market. You have no inventory. You have no impact on that market. We're just trying to go with the wind with this market. We cannot cross it. So this is right now a beautiful entry. It's telling us where is the target. On the way from here to here, it's telling us where it could be a little bumpy ride on your trade. So we have the entry, and right now from that signal, we have $110, and that is going to be lift off for the ES. And without even looking at the chart, I know the ES and the YM has already started rolling. And there we go. We start rolling, and there we go. We have the YM immediately and the ES taking a dive, and it is a matter of time getting the target and getting it over with. So let's go back on the Nasdaq, because this is the last signal on the Nasdaq. From that entry, we are already up 31 ticks on that trade. This is a beautiful. We know if you are taking that trade, I'm sorry, I'm talking to you. I have some customers are chatting with me. Be careful with this bumpy ride. I know, amigo, you have a teenager kid like me. I have two. I was pressing my son today to get ready for his final exam and go behind the books. The guy did not argue with me. He went and he said, yes, I'm going to bring a friend to study with. And then that friend turned out a beautiful knockout girl, and he's studying with her. I mean, I don't know what to say to him, but I doubt it very seriously is anything going through his head with that short skirt of the skirt coming in with him studying. So for all those guys out there have teenagers, I give up. So I even lost the track with that skirt looking at the chart. So uh, uh, we are about to hit the target at 63.25. The target is 58 level, but we have a double support line at 62.75 and 60.75. So probably this is where the trouble is going to happen before the target hits. So be careful with that, guys. Now you can see the market analyzer is working like a clock. From the signal entry on the last signal entry, we are already in 1,000 ticks into the profit. And if we look at the swing trading from the Ninja Trader Controller, CL start a spike YM, YM, ES, YM, and then the 30-year Treasury bond. So the Nasdaq did earlier run, and now the YM and the CL is really hammering to. Let me look at the CL. This is the 1 minute CL. This is the spike earlier this morning I was talking to you about. This is the 1 minute, and this is where we had a little turbulence in those area here. And then once this market is going to take a direction, the auto trade is not gonna miss it. And if we notice where we entered the market at 66.97, and there is a pullback. So let's look at the CL to see what's going on the CL here. Okay, the CL, we have a resistance at 66.34, and I think we're still good with it. It's just a pullback on the CL, and we are going to take one more dive. This is, again, look at this, guys. It came in the CL between those two yellow lines, confirmed by the support line, and it confirmed by 3 reversal right there. And those reversal are not repaint reversal, but we are still away. It's not over on the CL. We're gonna go back and retest the 66.35 before we can take any direction on the CL. So it's not over to the downside on the CL. We're still gonna go back and retest the 66.35. ES hit the target. The target was 81.25. Hit it right to the tick. YM, we have a reversals, but the target is right there, 51.24. We still a little bit. A little pullback, and there is nothing left on this one here. A little pullback, but don't let it scare you on the Nasdaq. Beautiful day. Everything is running. Very nice after the market been flat for a couple of 3 days. Finally, we it's like back alive, and this is nice to see this market moving again. Also, we have the ES on the scalper, already hit the target. Market order, not limited order. B scalper market order, already hit it. Even on the scalper market order, 150 ticks, B scalper hit target, 28.56. 30-year treasury bond already on the scalper market order, hit the target. YM already hit the target market order. And also another DAX market order, B scalper hit the target. And also on a four range, DAX hit the target 500. Two trades, 500 on the DAX. So, okay, I just messed it up. All right. What else? I'm covering the scalpers. 3 minutes market order, one trade, done way early today. Also, NASDAQ 3 minutes market order scalping already hit the target. DAX 150 ticks market order hit the target. NASDAQ 150 ticks. Hit the target, and then 1 minute DAX market order scalper already hit the target. And CL took a few trades, but it hit the target market order. So that's all what I can find right now, because the charts, they are right on top of each other, big mess. But once the market, that tells us once the market is moving, everything moves and everything makes money. And we're still on that trade with the 3 minutes on the DAX. We're still on that trade. This is your ES on the 1 minute. You can see it took a little more than my usual trades, but we had the entry at 89.75, but it's been taken. I mean, we did not miss anything on that auto trade. Even the short entry, I can be related to it when the market over when that trend closed it. So if we notice between when the market is trending here on the DAX, we stayed on that trade. When the market, the trend is over, closed that trade, it did exactly what's supposed to. On the first pullback re-entry to the short, I would have taken that one. And then the market changed direction. So this gap right here It's not your auto trade fault. This one here, it is exactly the market to change direction. And then here we have some clumsy movement. And then when the market start taking a trend, on the first pullback, we took a trade. Very normal, but now we can see it after what happened. But if we look at that chart from that entry, this is a very nice entry. It cannot get any better than that. But then the market took a dive. So when the market now started going short on the first pullback re-entry, it did exactly what's supposed to. And then the market took dive. So that tells us it doesn't matter what time frame we are using. If this market is trending, we are nailing it. If this market not trending, there is nothing we can do, Amar. There is nothing from your side. You cannot. You can do anything. I mean, it's like you're trying to get a hair out of a bald-headed man, and you're not able. You cannot blame the auto trade, whatever auto trade you have out there, or you cannot blame yourself sometimes why things. Because if this market is flat, if the market is flat, there is no money to be made. And that is not unusual in the market, especially future trading, that you have to comprehend that not every day nice and sunny. We forgot to cover the forex today. For those questions, yes, you can use the market analyzer for the stocks, forex, and futures. For the forex, I personally like euro dollar, and actually yesterday I was testing the euro dollar on the scalpers, and it was very impressive in a way on the euro dollar. I like the euro dollar, but the rest I have no integration to work with. But I like the euro dollar. I can comprehend, but the rest is not my piece of cake, you know. But I keep my eye on the euro dollar, and the entry we had on the euro dollar is 793 short, and the target is 61 612, and this is not bad on the pips. This is 148 pips in one trade. This is very serious number on the pips. So I like euro dollar, and I also like to look at the euro dollar because also have a big impact on your rest of the market. So look at this on the euro dollar, and this is a 1 minute chart. We came into the support line on the euro dollar. I don't know if there's anybody out there with the forex at 636.4, and if we notice here, we are still on the same support line. I made it a little bit simple where you just have the text where it's the safe entry and the sell entry. It was early this morning at 79, and then we are right now at 640. This is not bad at all. This is a beautiful run, even on a forex 1 minute, because most of the forex traders, they use 240 minutes. But for a 1 minute, this is a very, very efficient chart to use on a forex. On the Nasdaq right now, we are back to the 294.50. This is a resistance line, and this is, if you are not or you have not taken a trade, this is a beautiful area to take a short entry. This is a pullback re-entry, folks. And so the signal was at 83.75. So this is actually a much nicer entry based on a pullback. And the resistance line should be just a little bit above the 95 level, because I doubt it very serious to the Nasdaq is going to go above the 96.50 level. I doubt it very seriously is going to do the across those level here on the Nasdaq. We can watch it and see. Don't get excited with this movement. We have the true average price is 96 level. So I doubt it very serious that the Nasdaq is going to break those level. You see where's this green line? This is your, it says on it by itself. I don't do anything on the chart. It says, I don't know if you can read it, it's a 296 level, and it followed by this resistance line at 97. And you can see this is the true average price. And it came in exactly to this projection at 96 level. And this is where I doubt it very seriously that the Nasdaq is going to do anything above those numbers. You see where is this Nasdaq struggling? The 96 level. Right to the tick. So this is a very nice. What I like it, why it's so nice to take it is because you can protect yourself on the short trade, and you will have the buy at 97.25. And So this is a very cheap trade to trade it when you hide behind the resistance line or a support line. Oh, okay. It's 11:22. Uh, that's it. This market is finished. And now we are back short on the NASDAQ based on a pullback re-entry. And then your target is 57.75, but you have a support at 60.25 and 64.75. You need to mark those under your chart, because to this direction, to this target, you will have some problems in those area here. And probably if you are on a short trade, you might consider close position manually. I'm very impressed. This is the best. Very impressed with the Nasdaq, and there is plenty of them like that. Very nice 3 minutes chart. What it can do in one day, the DAX probably is going to take you whole months to do with the ES. But the problem, if you have the right money to play that game, folks, for the 5 minutes, those are the results. Nasdaq 26, 750, 41.50. Okay. God bless you all, and I'll try my best to be on tomorrow. And be careful with the trading. And thank you. Pleasure. See you another day. Bye for now.